down there, went down the funny hole. Anyway, very good evening to you. Hope you're well out there. And let's start off the show. Hello, very good evening to you. I hope you're well out there. I hope your Tuesday's going well. And yes, I hope November is working out well for you so far. I know we're only 3 days into this, but yes, very, very happy autumn to you all. And look, we've even got the autumn shirt on. That's especially flowers and things, I think. Anyway, so as we go through the show tonight, as you can see, I've got a fabulous guest coming on. Name's Helen Davis, and she was on the show back in around June time, and she was absolutely brilliant. So many people just touched and felt her energy and just thought that she was absolutely fabulous, which she was. And so tonight we'll be so happy to welcome her back and just to a lovely, lovely show with you about Spread Some Sunshine, about how she's coping through life at the moment, which you'll find out a lot as we go through the show here, what this means and how you can get involved as well. So, good. How's that? Now, you can also watch the show live, as we're doing here live, as much as you can watch it on Facebook. You can also go onto YouTube, or even you can even go onto there, if you like to, go onto your television and press YouTube, Cafe Clairvoyance. There we are. We come up. We're live on your TV. How's that? Very, very good evening to Joanne. Very nice to see you. And also to Nikki Saunders. Lovely to see you too. And guys, as we go through the show, this is what we'd like you to do. Okay, right. So thank you very much for everybody who's written in. Thank you for everybody who comments, and lovely to see Joanne, and also lovely to see Nikki so far and all you other guys out there. So during the show tonight, we like to put on a show here. Clairvoyance is a French word meaning, as a lot of you may know, means clear see. As much as people take this on as a spiritual element, we like to involve other things going on as well. And one of the things you're going to hear tonight is how we're going to clearly see into other people's lives, and how what effect people have on other people's lives when they step in to go and help and do something about people in a crisis or a trauma. And we're going to find out that tonight, so I think it'd be lovely. But first of all, thank you very much to Nikki, also to Susie. She says, hello. Hi, everyone, again. She must have been here before. Yes. Anyway, very good evening to you. Yes. And Tonya says, hello. Very nice. That's lovely to see you too, as Sandra Park does, and all the other lovely people coming on. We also got this little post at the top here. It says, please share Cafe Clairvoyance spiritual shows. Sharing is caring. It goes out to everywhere. And we also would just like to say here, a very big thank you to everybody in Australia. Very recently here, we've had a huge influx of people wanting to join in the show. So big thank you to you guys out there. And also you people in the States, as much as you lovely people in the UK, and also in Spain too. And all the other countries there as well. So if I missed you out, I do apologise. We do mean well. Good. Okay, right. I think I need to go and find a doorbell and go and see if my lovely friend Helen Davis is there. Absolutely wonderful lady. I'm sure when she comes on, you'll absolutely love this. So let's just go and find out if she's there first of all. Let's go and have a little look. Okay. Helen, there you are. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Phil. How are you?
Oh, very well indeed. Always a pleasure to to welcome you on the show. This is lovely. Oh, great. Sandra says that she shared the show already. Thank you very much, guys. Davina says, hi, everyone. Lovely to see you too. And Karen Holistic says, good evening, all lovely people. All lovely to be able to join you again. Hope you've been keeping well. Thank you very much. Yes, we have. How are you, Helen? Have you been keeping well?
Yeah, I have kept very well, actually, Phil. Keeping it a mischief, which is always good, and loving the sunny days,
Okay, I tell you, it has been quite sunny, isn't it? But I know there's going to be a lot of empathy there from the people up in the UK when I say to them that we're actually heading in for 2 days, I think, of rain, aren't we? Yes, can we? Yes, I know. We're gonna get a little bit wet here, and oh dear, never mind. Anyway, Trudy Hunter says, "Hi, gorgeous lady." So this is lovely when you get these little comments coming in. I think it's fabulous. Okay, so people are going to ask out there. Okay,
he's my right hand man.
Trudy's my right hand man. That sounds interesting. Okay. We're not going to ask questions. We're not. Actually, we are. This sounds like great gossip.
Only as far as the project goes, you understand.
Only as far as the project goes. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Spread Some Sunshine. What is Spread Some Sunshine?
Okay, so Spread Some Sunshine for me is a little bit of my own personal journey. Okay. Basically, many moons ago, back in '97. I went to Sri Lanka with Steve, my husband, and celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. And I fell in love with the country.
Was that in 1997?
97.
97, and that was already 20 years you two were married?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. There's longevity for you. There's longevity. Yes, because I know your other half there, and what a fabulous man he is. Even though he does play golf. Anyway, yes.
So I just felt like an infinity to it, and just got drawn to the people and the country. And then, obviously, in 2004, the tsunami came along.
Yeah.
And we saw the places where we stayed and visited destroyed. And obviously many of the people that we'd met there at the time, changed their life beyond any comprehension. Their livelihood, loss of life. Yeah. We saw actually where we stayed was washed away. And so literally the beach line was just disappeared. And I desperately wanted to go back, but I didn't.
Okay. It's frozen a little bit, but don't worry, unfreeze in a minute. It's probably due to the weather. Yes, we're back now. There's just a little bit of weather there. Yes. Okay, yes. So you went back there in 2004 after the tsunami.
2004 was the tsunami. We went back 2007.
Sorry, 2007. Yes, okay. And that's...
Yeah, sorry. The old clouds are coming in tonight, I think. And it just shocked us to see how little progress these guys had been able to make. Supposedly, as we had to believe it, they'd had a lot of aid, a lot of support, but there was lots of rules and regulations about who got the support, and for many, they didn't get any. Oh. And we were very, very shocked. I mean, we still lived in the UK then. And so we rallied our troops back in the UK, family and friends, and we did all sorts of crazy stuff and helped some families that were still literally living in, accommodation without roofs, windows, no water, no electricity.
Yes.
So me and you've got to remember their livelihoods had gone as well. So they had no form of creating an income, because their fishing boats had gone, the tourists weren't in the hotels, so they had no way of creating any income in order to improve their lives. So that's where we got hooked. That's really where my story started. And obviously time passed, and we took early retirement. We came to Spain, and I wanted to do something, I was too early to kind of, just hang my boots up. So yeah. I did a few sort of bits of voluntary work here, but I wanted something. My heart was still there in sort of Sri Lanka and the people that we'd seen. And so in 2017, so yeah, over 3.5 years ago, I decided to start my own project called Spread Some Sunshine. And with Steve's help, you know, we've done some really fun stuff and some crazy stuff, and I think we changed. Importantly, you know, we put food on the table,
Yes.
which in this country is, especially at the moment, it's a pretty serious matter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It
sad,
really
isn't it?
is.
Yes. It's lovely to hear Shirley Lukeson. Lovely to see you. Says hello, dear Phil. So nice to
Hi,
see you both.
Shirley. Hi.
Lovely friends to us both there, and lovely to see you, Shirley. And we'll have to catch up soon, I'm sure. Now, so how many of you guys out there have actually been in a situation where you've seen something that's really moved you, really changed you, and wanted to do something about it for the goodness of other people? People have been marginalised by life, and because sometimes it's quite a brave thing. If I call it brave, because a lot of people, like for instance, you walk through London, you walk through Nottingham, you walk through Madrid, you could walk through all these different countries, these towns, and just walk past people who are homeless. They're on the streets. On the streets, there's nothing. They're there with their cap and their mug, and a lot of people just walk by as if they do not know how to talk to people, so they just walk by as if they're not there. But you went out there, a country that is miles away from Spain, the UK, and wherever you're living, and to see the state of how their lives were, how this had changed, and then you stepped in to try and improve their lives. So what have you done? So if you don't mind me asking, what have you done so far? What's happened with the support that you've given to be able to help them?
Yeah, well, Phil, really, it started, to say, before we came to Spain, we were in touch with a guy called Udaya,
Okay.
and a guy called Sampath. Sampath is now our project manager in Sri Lanka. So basically, when we transfer the euros into Sri Lankan rupees, which we do by a banker salon to avoid transfer costs, Sampath manages all the money in Sri Lanka that we send, and he sends me the receipts so I can see exactly where it's spent. But we were all, and we actually, before we came to Spain, we've completed 4 houses. So in Sri Lanka, you literally, when I say you build your house bit by bit, it is like row of brick by row of brick. So we actually helped 4 families complete their house build before we actually came to Spain. So, for example, Udaya, like Sampath, ensured that the people we helped were genuinely in need of our help. So there's a lady called Hetty, for example, her husband was killed in the tsunami, and she had 3 children. Obviously, she couldn't earn any money because she had the children to look after. We completed her house, and so it went from a shell of breeze blocks into a completed house. And I had the pleasure of going back about 5 years after to see Hetty's house completed. Her children had grown up. One was working for Sri Lankan Airlines, another one was a police officer.
Yeah.
So you'd gone to see the kids growing up and to become working adults. But at that period of time, she had no income, no husband, and nowhere to live, literally. So Hetty was just one story. So we actually completed 3 other houses, very similar. So they had a shell of breeze blocks, but as I say, no roofs, no windows. So if you can imagine, in the wet seasons, the rain would just come into the house, and I visited houses many a time where the puddles were just in the lounge, lounge. I didn't have lounges as such, but were in the inside of the house. So all the kids' bedding was wet. The kids had chest infections, etc., etc. So our priority then was this before Spread Some Sunshine was, formed. We just decided to build the houses, complete the houses. So they already had the land, to be fair. So that's the big cost. And when I say we built houses, you're talking about maybe 3,500–4,000, as it was, pounds then. We were in UK to complete these houses. So that's kind of what inspired me. And then obviously, as I say, when I came here, and felt I was I needed a little bit of something to get my teeth into.
Yeah.
Then we started helping children's care homes. We're now mixed care homes in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And so basically what we do is we support food needs, toiletries, essential needs such as underwear, flip-flops, mosquito nets. If we have a surplus of money or an income of money that, from an event, we would find out what the matron needs. So, for example, about 2 years ago, we got people to sponsor a cupboard. So each child had a cupboard which we got Sampath to write their names on. So they had somewhere to put their belongings. Before that, they just had a carrier bag. That's all they had.
And that's amazing when you think, guys out there, that we've got our houses, we've got we've got our apartments, we've got our bungalows, we've got whatever we've got, and all their belongings, everything they own is just in a carrier bag.
Yeah, and a very thin, holey carrier bag at that. It's so these kids, as I say, we put the names of the people that donate. We've got samples to paint the names of the people that donated the cupboards. So if I recall, there was about €40 per cupboard.
Okay.
So it'd be like Phil and Deb had donated this cupboard. So each child in the boys' orphanage that we were helping then, had somewhere to put all their belongings. So that was, they were just blown away, the kids,
Can people go onto a website or a Facebook page to see photographs of all this?
Absolutely. We've got a Facebook page, Spread Some Sunshine.
Yeah.
And we've also got a website, which, shame on me, I need to update. It's one of the hardest things is bringing the money in and updating the information, but we try our best. But it's on our agenda to update the website, but it's www.spreadsomesunshine, all one word, .es. And the .es is quite important because there is another very similar project which supports African children. Not that we want to help African children.
Yeah. Okay. I think it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we do try and keep that updated, and it does have, and I'm sorry to say this, I don't very often ask directly for people to make donations, especially at this time when everyone's struggling. But we are seriously up against organising any fundraising events at the moment. We are just cancelling one after the other. There is a GoFundMe page if there's anybody in a position to donate.
Okay, and that's because of the COVID situation, which is bringing a lot of countries to lockdown. Yeah, especially Europe at the moment. I was surprised to hear one of the worst countries in Europe which has COVID is Belgium. Belgium has a huge problem, and I know England has, I know Spain has, and where they're taking measures to try and curb this. Okay. So unfortunately, as you say, a lot of the events that you're doing there are sort of moving. Well, they're probably going to come on in the new year, probably rather than what's now. What about are there any updates of anything that people get involved in? And I say updates, like for instance, other events coming on later on or into the new year.
Yeah, well, so currently we had planned between now and Christmas 4 events. New regulations. We've tried to adapt it and we've tried to change it to meet the regulations. We're not trying to cut anything short, but we just can't do it. I've been in contact with Town Hall and it just doesn't comply with the rules, and we have to respect that. We wouldn't want to do it any other way. So far 2 of the events have been cancelled, but we have got 2 more planned for December.
Okay.
Which obviously the regulations could possibly change. We don't know. One is Mr. and Mrs., which is at the Bull and Bear.
Mr. and Mrs. Go on. What's this all about? Go on. Is this? I remember that program. That goes back donkeys. That goes back to the Ark.
But instead of Phil Schofield, it could be me and Gemma from Teletech. But ho.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
Absolutely. But it will be 6 people at a table, reserved places. So we're trying to comply with all the rules and regulations, masks, sanitizer.
Okay.
As I say, we can't do any live music events. We can't do anything with stalls. So we're trying to create things within those boundaries. And some of the things we're looking at, we've actually got a brainstorming meeting, which the lovely Trudy will be at, to sort of try and create some new ideas. But we are really trying to proceed with our hands tied behind our backs. I've got to be honest. So we are trying to be really creative. I mean, I've never quite, I think outside the box is a real meaningful statement at the moment. And we're probably going to have to do some online stuff, which we've just, and I really want to say this, Phil, I'm so blown away by it, but we just completed an online auction, which firstly, I want to thank the people that put the auction items up and also for all the people that bid. But that brought in €1,870.
Wow. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think this needs one of these. That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Yes.
We had 55 items put up for bid, from meals to yoga to Steve was cooking his dal. We did a barbecue night here, curry night. All sorts of things were donated, different items, and that's what was brought in from 55 bids. I wouldn't normally do such an event so soon, but with things the way they are, and obviously people needing Christmas gifts, it may be something we have to consider. But we're trying to find some ideas. But it's, as I say, as the new regulations come in, and they are creeping in and out all the time. It's a tough one, and I've got to say, without getting emotional, I spoke to Sampath just yesterday, and we are in a situation where in Sri Lanka, if you bear in mind they're an island, there's been no airport open since March.
Oh dear.
The lockdown is quite serious. I don't know the exact figure, but it's something like 85% of Sri Lanka relies on tourism. So they not have any income, they have no government support, and consequently no money to buy food.
Okay.
And that's where we are. Children are going hungry.
That is a very grave situation.
Yeah.
That's a very grave. And as much as you're gaining this support, as much you're doing these auctions, and I must admit, I've attended some of your charity events. They're absolutely brilliant. They're so positive. They're so wonderful. So wonderful. And it's headed by you. And I know you've got a fabulous team who work with you just to help raise some money. They all do it just for the sake of the cause. And we love getting involved. It's every time you do something, we're always there trying to spread some sunshine. Yeah.
And your gorgeous wife.
Yeah,
Thank you.
She's in the background. She's in the background there. She's producing
Hi,
the show. She's there. She's there. She's working on the background there. So, yes. So there's no way that there's anything that's able to get into these people at the moment. Is that right?
Well, at the moment, what we've decided to do, if some of you that heard my last talk, we was in the throes of building a small accommodation so that people could actually go and visit the project, stay in the accommodation, and then all the rental money would go back into the project. So it'd be become self-sufficient.
Brilliant idea. What a lovely idea.
Well, it was fantastic, Phil, until they closed the airport.
Okay.
Because obviously there's no Europeans, and the airport's in Colombo, and those in Colombo, which is like London, won't consider travelling south. They're not able to do that. So there we are. We've got a virtually almost 95% completed building, but with no one to stay in it. So we've decided, Sampath and I, that we're going to put all a hold on all the remaining tweaking of the last garden and the small businesses, and concentrate solely on food. And just wanted to say, Phil, one of the things that we are going ahead with, and for the restaurants that are prepared to get involved, we're actually going to be doing a Christmas tree appeal, and it's going to be called the Gift of Food.
Right.
And so what we're asking people to do is, so far we've got 2 restaurants involved, an XIC primary school. So we are going to have a Christmas tree in those venues. We asked their guests to complete a gift tag with a message to those in Sri Lanka and make a donation from, it doesn't matter how big that donation is, everybody's been affected by this. They can send a personal message or they can gift it to somebody. So I might buy you a bag of rice, Phil, if you're really lucky, or lentils.
Oh,
make your own dal then.
Love it. Okay.
I will also provide an idea of what your money will buy in Sri Lanka. So that money will literally buy kids gifts for Christmas. But this year,
that's just awesome.
No,
just
the gift is food.
This is a lot, isn't it? And I can understand when you say.
Sadly, the thing I have to.
Yes, I can understand.
Sorry, Phil. Just the thing I have to stress: it's we can only function in money because to send those items, postage is just impossible.
Yeah.
So but what we will do is promise to send photos of the food being received, the receipts of the food being bought, so that people know exactly where the money's gone. Unfortunately, we still aren't allowed in the children's home because of COVID. We can only deliver the food to the gates.
Okay.
But
Okay. Oh dear, these are sad times, but with love and a big heart, I think it takes a warm hearts and strong minds to help. And I think you've got that, Helen. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Oh dear.
Thank you, Phil.
Have a little hoot from us. There's a little hoot from us to say thank you. Something like that there. Now, just another thing there. Just another thing I thought I'd say here as well is, well, we're obviously in Spain, so a lot of people in Spain are helping out to go and help and support this. But we've got other people here coming from New York, other people in Australia, other people in the UK, and in also south of Spain and north of Spain. And I think there's some people here from Belgium as well, by the look of it. Yes, lovely. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And we're spreading some sunshine to an orphanage, or a community, which is in Sri Lanka, which is absolutely suffering. And at the moment, their airport's been shut since March. So no real support is getting in, because obviously it used to come in by plane. This is an island. And so Helen went out there in 2004 and 2007, and she went out there to bring support to these people. And she's made a community, she's helped support the community there, which, although we like to think here, okay, we want to help everybody, you can only help some, but at least we start. And maybe if we look at it this way, maybe the love spreads, maybe the sunshine spreads, and sunshine gets bigger and bigger. And you do this purely through love. Purely through love. There's no business. There's no anything you receive just goes straight to that community, which I think is beautiful. And this is why we love having you on the show, because it's life out there. Sometimes we all go through difficult times, but my goodness, they really are going through troubled times out there, and it's absolutely lovely to share this with you, and it's very, very touching. Now, the other thing I was going to say to you is, so people are abroad here, what can they do if they just want to spread some love, they want to help, they want to support? What can they do to get involved?
Yeah, in all honesty, Phil, the best thing people can do if they're further afield is to go onto the website, www.spreadsomesunshine.es, and please read what is happening, what we're doing. And I apologise, it needs an update of the last couple of months, and that's going to happen very soon. We've got an IT man on that, because I'm useless in that area.
The man called it.
A man called it. Well, actually, he told us he says he's a digital nomad, so we call him DN.
Okay.
And you know him, actually.
Oh, okay.
I won't say his name because I might have embarrassed him, but he's given us some amazing help, and he's going to try and help us animate the website to really really bring it alive, because I don't even know where to start, as you know. So that's in the process of being done. So I apologise for the last few months haven't been on there, but they are coming, trust me. But the best thing really, yes, is currently to go onto the website. There's a GoFundMe where you can make a donation on there. And I do want to stress, Phil, that, it is 100%. We can provide any evidence of that. For me personally, as a one-man band with a wonderful group of people that, that support me, I personally didn't want to go down a charity shop route. Because as much as we wanted to do this, I didn't want to go back into kind of work scenario. So we don't have any overheads. We have no rent, no electric bills. Steve and I pay any costs like, petrol, printing. We cover those costs. So it really is 100% goes to this project, which is why we choose not to work through larger charities, NGOs, because we have no way of tracing where that money goes. I'm not looking what any of those guys do. I'm really not. They're all doing great stuff. But we choose to do it this way. We choose to do it this way so that we make sure and we can track the 100%. I mean, I get quite frustrated when people talk about overseas aids, because it doesn't necessarily always get to those people in need. It may go overseas. And I've seen firsthand with those who belonged in the hierarchy of the government, and those who didn't, was all I shall say.
Okay. Well, you don't need to go down that road, it's just the way it goes. Okay, so somebody, it says, as you say about a gift aid there, Spread Some Sunshine gift aid, that people press the button, they can donate monies. For people here GoFundMe. Yeah. And for people here say, look, I want to get involved, but I'm in a difficult situation, but they got loads of clothes or things they need. They think, I just got to empty my wardrobe with a load of stuff I don't need. Can they send things like that to you?
Absolutely, Phil. We have one of the things we do to raise money, and this is where the lovely Trudy and some of the other ladies and friends that I have help, is we are donated items, especially bric-a-brac and ladies' clothes. Unfortunately, the children's clothes are more difficult to move at the moment because of COVID. People don't necessarily want to buy them, and I understand that. But so what we can do with any donated items, especially unwanted gifts at this time of the year, because people, I love the idea that people sort of dare to rewear. Or pass on unwanted gifts rather than waste. We're a dreadfully wasteful, nation, really. So any items like that they donate, we can either sell at the Rastro markets while they're open. Please God, they'll continue. Or we can take them into charity shops where we get, a percentage for the items that are sold. And that's a huge income for the project. And that's our bread and butter, if you like. So the events that we hold, the fairs and quiz nights, etc., music nights, they're on top. So you can always contact me via the website or Facebook page, or you can take, items into Villamere. Which, if anybody that lives in Javier, the lovely Michelle Hughes and her team there, they will take items for us. And just notify, just saves us having to pick up items all the time, and that's that is a huge help to us. And they still go into the charity shops as well, so they the charity shops still get them, which is great, because we kind of help. They're helping us before we help the charity shop. We will take them into cancer care or the original charity shop. And the other thing I'm really proud of something that we've done, Phil, is when we have stuff that for whatever reason we can't sell on, or it's just not appropriate, or we know someone else is in need, we actually have what we call a pass it on project. So we've actually in the last few months helped out the Preventorio in Gandia for children when they needed winter coats, the Red Cross, Project Costa is huge at the moment, that help the homeless in Calpe. We've passed on men's clothes to them, and other like kitchen items, because they're creating a halfway house. The Ladies Refuge Domestic Violence Centre. So we're not, there's no competition here. Anything that we feel we can't use or somebody else needs more, we actually help, other heavier charities and local charities as well.
This, I think, is an absolutely beautiful thing to go and do. I mean, you're both retired now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got a project now, which often we say here in a partnership, especially when we look at Guillemar herself. She's on the astrology show tomorrow. When we work here, we're saying about relationships. The relationships, when they come together, it's about sometimes bringing something or doing something together, whether it's a business, whether you're bringing up a family, or you're uniting to do something. But you two are incredible that you've decided, when you come to this point of retirement, is what you're giving back to life and how you're going to help people. And I think it's so touching, so special just to hear what you're doing, to hear your story. And I know your life hasn't been easy, has it?
No, it hasn't, Phil. I was diagnosed with bipolar 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And, it's quite a long story, some parts of the journey are quite uncomfortable. Unfortunately, some of it took place in Sri Lanka. Anybody that understands bipolar will know you suffer severe highs and lows.
Yes.
Luckily, I'm now medicated and kind of normalish on a good day.
You're more than normal. You're absolutely wonderful. And just always see your spirit, your energy, your enthusiasm of life. Every time we see you, it's just magic. It just makes an evening or makes a day or whatever it is we're doing. Lovely.
Thank you. That's really important to me. And, I think I have to say really that perhaps the project saved me as well. Because
Yes.
I needed, when the dark days came, I'm lucky enough that I don't have many now because my medication's balanced. But when the dark days came, I needed something like meaningful and purposeful in my life to really want to get out.
Okay.
And in all honesty, it's made a huge difference to my life. And although I probably drive people a bit crackers because I'm probably a bit too passionate about it, I needed something that was meaningful. It was really, really important that I had that. And in fact, and I know you know this, Phil, but we recently lost a friend.
Yes, we both did, didn't we? It was absolutely. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's something that caught us both by surprise.
Absolutely, and I'm going to say Eric's name because not only was he a dear friend, Eric Champon, and his lovely wife Jenny. When Eric took his own life, he'd actually spoken and gave presentations about his mental health journey. I don't like the word illness because it's not. It's a condition, but it's a very severe condition. And one of the things that Eric did, not only did he write 2 books and gave talks about finding his journey, his path. One of his little strap lines were "Let's talk mental," and I was so shocked because I thought Eric had been it. Actually, it's made me go out and talk about my journey, and it's my journey. So it's not. I'm not going to say anybody else will experience the same as me, but it helps. What I can only say is, and I know you came to the last talk that we gave because Steve was there as somebody that lives with it, because it's very much a 2-sided thing.
Yeah.
The person that lives with it is, is affected as much as the person that has it. What I was really, really surprised with was the personal comments I got the next day. People sharing their own situations, those people that were in that audience that I didn't know on that night, expressed to me.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
So I am going to carry on giving the talks because for Eric, I feel it's really quite important that we do get it out there. We do share that. And one of the things that's coming across with me just talking about bipolar is how people are affected by the current situation. The lockdowns, people that are alone, maybe even Eric himself, such an active man, was suddenly not able to walk, ride his bike, climb mountains. Did that have a percentage of part of playing in that? I don't know. But I just know there's a lot of people that are strongly affected by the current situation. And I think there can't ever be anything harmful than sharing it and airing it, and because there's nothing wrong in it, especially for men. I think.
I was in the prison service, and I know I've told you this. I was in the prison service, and this was back in the early 2000s when I was doing a lot of work there. And one of the things that actually struck me is a lot of mental health institutions closed down in the UK because of funding. They couldn't fund them anymore. So a lot of people there who had committed crimes through mental health ended up in jails. So they had a big struggle. The people there were meant to have a big struggle to try to exist, live, get along with people who were who were didn't have mental health problems. And watching them and talking to them was absolutely fascinating. And trying to help them and trying to understand how mental health works, especially in a confined space. Such as jail. But more interesting, though, what I felt is I went on loads of training courses about mental health, from ADHD to autism and all these things, and bipolar. As much as you sit in a classroom and you get all this education, they tell you lots of things and they give you lots of input, and there's loads of you there that interact to get to understand this. You take loads of notes, you do some assessments to help you to understand. You can understand to a certain point. But what I found was the most amazing thing, that for the hour you spoke, or maybe it's 2 hours, I can't remember, the time was amazing. I learned more in that space of time than what I learned in a classroom. And that was just...
That's
the
biggest compliment, Phil.
Yes, and the thing that made it for me is it was your side, which I thought was a very touching story. But doubly touching the story was how your partner helps to support you through this, and his story. And that was like two big, enormous amounts of information coming together to give you a picture, saying, my goodness, and like with a lot of mental health, all right, the person goes to mental health, but it's how the other person supports the other person and what they go through. I'll imagine some of you guys out there, if you know anybody who's been through dark or troubled times or through mental health and like this, it's how it impacts on you or them, the supporters, the people who are the carers. And I know now, and especially I work with a lot of people who are carers who need a lot of support. And yet they're saying, but I can't have help because I'm supporting someone else who does need help. But actually, they do. They do. And even if it's mothers of children who have got difficult children, for example, or children who've got difficult mothers or fathers, it's exactly the same. Or wherever this comes in. Yes, wherever it comes in. So I think, and listening to your story was absolutely touching. And I'll go to another story and I'll hear it again and again because I thought it was interesting. So lovely. And your husband, Steve, I'll tell you what, he's got a heart of absolute gold. And I'm not saying that because he's a friend of mine. I'm saying it because he almost brought everybody to tears about what he went through to help you, because it all came down to one thing. He said, one thing only: he loved you.
And I'm very blessed with that, Phil.
Yes.
One of the things I think about when I talk is, there's a lot of people that went through what I went through on their own.
Yes.
And my family forgave me for all the bizarre things that I did, because they understood that I obviously didn't have any control over what I was doing. I had psychotic periods, and I wasn't fully correctly medicated at the time, and you aren't in control of your actions. And they've all forgiven me, both my daughters and Steve, my sister. They were there for me. There's some people that go through all that crap, sorry to say the word, on their own, and I just, which I think is just for me is quite important about talking about it, because even if it's just allow someone to just get a bit off their chest, you can't fix everybody. And I think that's also a bit of a message I have to give across, because you can't. One of the things I think I probably fell foul of was trying to fix everybody, and actually you can't. Even like with this, my project in Sri Lanka, that's probably really where some of this first triggered from, because you have sort of bipolar tendencies, and it tends to be a bit of a trait of the personality that you're a bit of a fixer. So what it allows me to do, and what Steve helps me with, is just calm down. You can't do it all, and he grounds me. He does. I know that sounds a bit corny, but he does. But there's so many people that don't have someone that's doing that for them.
Yes.
So I'm blessed. I'm one of the lucky guys, really I am.
Oh, right. Well, we're blessed to hear his story. I love his story. I think he's a fabulous man, lovely man. Joanna says, lose you every few seconds, need to cut Miss out of this conversation. Wish you good luck, Helen. You're a fighter. Bipolar is hard, and I respect you honestly, and thank you for sharing it. And I think that's lovely. So thank you, Joanne. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Joanne. I know it's not a good signal, I can see.
Yes, don't worry. I think we're getting over the message. Go to the message there, and people can understand what we're doing. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of this, and then we are back in a second. We're going. Oops, sorry. Just move my little screen around. We'll be back in a second. Okay, Wednesday tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. I've got a fabulous Guillemard coming on. We're going to do a show on spiritual astrology. If you would like a reading, like a spiritual astrology reading, we need your details, please, and preferably way before the show, so it gives us a chance to work out your astrology chart. We just need your date of birth. We need a question, and we also need a favourite colour. We'll be doing your numerology, we'll be doing a little bit of mediumship, and we'll also be doing your astrology chart. It'll be a solar chart, we call it, because we don't work with your date of your time of birth and your location, because it's too much to deal with on just a light-hearted show. But we definitely work to try and get things there sorted for you. That's going to be on for 11 o'clock in the morning, which is EU time, 10 a.m. UK. Even if Deanne, who's over there in New York, good evening, lovely, the lovely Deanne. How are you? Hope you're well. Even if you want a reading tomorrow, that's fine. Just send us your details there. We'll put, because we're working with astrology chart, we can still do that. And then when you get up in the afternoon, well, our afternoon, you'll be there. You can go back on the show and go and see it all. How's that? We like to help people. Anyway, so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, last sort of 10 minutes, I'm joined by the fabulous Helen Davies of Spread Some Sunshine, which is a lovely. How would you call this? Because it's like an organisation. Is it an organisation project, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I just refer to a fundraising project, Phil, because I have to be very careful we don't call it a charity, because obviously we've chosen to go down the registered route for no other reason than that costs money. To register, and actually that also entails a lot of paperwork, not in terms of accounts. All our money in and all our money out is recorded every month, and anyone can come and see those. But what it also entails is writing minutes of meetings and lots of other paperwork that I just kind of thought, you know what, that just takes me away from raising money.
Okay.
And fundamentally, that's what's needed. So for me, it's a fundraising project, personal, kind of a personal hobby that's grown. And yeah, I mean, I am really proud of it, and I'm proud of the people that help me and get stuck in and do all sorts of wacky things to make things happen. That people are doers, and that's what what we need in this world, really, to make change. There's a lot of people want to talk about it, but we need doers. And I have to say that I know that Trudy there, she's tuned in to do her. She's a doer.
Yes,
she did today.
Yes. Oh, there she is.
Telling me.
She keeps saying "Hi, gorgeous lady," which is absolutely fabulous. There, lovely. Yes. Okay, great.
Great.
So,
Great.
Lovely. Okay, so
just before. Just enough, Bill. Can I just say to there is going to be another bipolar talk coming up very shortly.
Oh, fabulous! Yes, I'd like to know about this.
I had such a good response. I'm literally planning that, hopefully even in the next week. So if you don't mind, I will post that on your page as soon as that's confirmed.
Okay.
It's a free talk, but if anybody feels that they've taken something away from it at the end, then obviously a donation to Spread Some Sunshine will be absolutely wonderful.
Beautiful. That sounds fantastic. Good.
So watch this space on Cafe Clairvoyance. Tune in.
Oh, thank you very much. Plugging that out there. That's lovely.
Hug.
Hug. We're talking before the show here about certain words that you use there. I thought one of them there was actually lovely. It's like passion and purpose. With passion, you have purpose. I thought that was yes. I thought that was fabulous. Then I thought, well, what a great little cliche there to go use passion and purpose, and how this whole experience. Because I know that we've all done different jobs in the past there, and some of them have been quite high end, or they've been high pressure jobs or challenging. We made a difference when we were younger. Doing something like this, do you think this is actually makes more of gives you more of a purpose in your life than what you were doing earlier on, perhaps?
Oh, Phil, I used to project manage 14 to 16-year-olds that didn't want to go to school.
Great fun.
Yeah, that's a word for it. So yeah, that was pretty challenging, I guess, but still fulfilling at times, not always. But yeah, do you know what? Best job I've ever had. Wages are crap, but
support you get
because,
is good.
I have a little saying on my in my bedroom, and it's just a very simple white postcard that my youngest daughter bought, and it just says, "Make your mark on the world." And it doesn't matter what we do, how big or small that is. I just think I can't. I don't want to like pop off and kind of sort of think, well, what was that all about, really? And I know that might sound corny and a bit, but at least we can stick our hand up and say, we made a difference. Sampath, I never speak to Sampath without his sincerest of thanks, because he would probably still be buying 2 bricks a week, and his kids would still be living with chest infections. And so that's better than any job feedback I had in my entire career. Someone that thanked you
I can imagine.
And told you that he's left the temple each night and has prayed for you, and I'm not a hugely religious person, but just somebody that's just so grateful that what you've done for them. That's enough for me. That's good for me.
That's lovely. That's absolutely fabulous. It's been absolutely so enjoyable having you on the show. Now, one of the questions here, which I thought we'd ask you, if that's okay, is like, how do you manage the lockdown? How do you manage the lockdown with the situations that you're in there? How do you manage the lockdown in the times that you're in now? How do you manage that?
In terms of bipolar?
Yes.
I think for me, one of the one of the things that I talk about, because I think, I hope, well, I know it does actually, because of the feedback I've got, is telling people what works for me with bipolar can be applied to other people's mental health conditions or frustrations or whatever. And one of the biggest things for me is whenever I start to feel that kind of negativity, which I think a lot of people have done in lockdown, is you just got to flip it. You've just got to flip it and look for those positives. They're not always forthcoming, and sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle. So what I do, especially in terms of the Spread Some Sunshine project, is look at what the things that I can do, use that as thinking time, use it as planning time, use it as what's the things I can do rather than the things I can't do. It sounds very corny. I don't mean it to. It's a bit like, the glass is half full, not half empty.
Yeah.
And actually, it's kind of, healthy brainstorming is, a brain dump. I call it a brain dump, because sometimes I'm so busy doing that I don't have enough time to properly put everything on paper, update my Facebook page, update my website, and really plan it. So I used that time really and kind of got things in some kind of logical sense. And also, we're blessed by being given, as people are becoming more and more aware of what we're doing, this, sorting the donations becomes kind of quite a...
Yes, I can imagine.
If it's dirty or...
Yeah.
So that's, kids' toys come in. There's sometimes nothing wrong with them. They might just be a bit grubby. They all need to be cleaned or sterilised now. So yeah, for me, keeping busy. For me, I have to stress for me because, as I stress in my, when I talk, it's everyone's personal journey.
Yes.
I don't want people to sit and think, oh, is she giving it, or I do this and I do that? Because for some people, and I have experienced this, when getting out of bed and emptying the dishwasher was a climbing Mount Everest. I've been there.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that. When you people might go, yeah, but when I'm that low, I can't lift myself up. But I am blessed, Phil, that I have, after probably 5 years, the first initial 5 years, found the right balance of medication.
Good. That takes a while, doesn't it?
It does take a while. And obviously with bipolar, the complication of that is you can take you too high or it can take you too low.
Yeah. Yes.
Balances of, the ups and the downs. When you're in a no sleep pattern, which for me is absolutely huge. Sleep, if I have disturbed sleep, I have to be mindful of that. And sometimes I cancel stuff because I think, so yeah, lockdown, as I say, it all sounds very nice and simple for me. But if you're on your own in an apartment and you haven't got family around you or a strong partner, that's a whole different scenario. So I don't want anyone to think I'm just sitting there going, oh, well, I'll just do this, because it's tough, really tough for people.
Yes.
And I think we talk about, there's no point pretending the suicide rate's going through the roof. And I can understand it, especially if you're not medicated, because sadly, you can just, when you're in a psychotic stage and you don't know exactly what you're doing, you kind of lose all sense of normality. I think people can take things.
Yes, I think here you've had such an open heart and shown so much honesty about what you've been through. If I say honesty or clarity or openness, love, I think, and the support you got from Steve, and I think anybody else out there who's listening, a lot of countries now going back there into lockdown, whatever level they are. Guys, we're on 3 times a week. We always make a show which is geared towards you people. So if you are feeling a bit left out there, by all means message us. We're always let's interact. And what I'd like to say as well is on the Sunday show we're going to do, which is coming up, Sunday. Can we take some photographs? Can you send us some photographs of the work that's going on in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely.
And then what I'll do at the start of the show there, I'll just say this is referring back to the Tuesday show, and these are the photographs of the work that's going on in Sri Lanka, so people get an idea. Now, one of the things here, guys, I think one of the highlights this evening is that you can get involved, especially when towards the end of towards the that's right at the start of the show there, you were saying here that people can get involved. They can actually go out to Sri Lanka when this is all sorted out. There'll be accommodation there which is going to be built, and that people there can go out there, go visit Sri Lanka, but also then get involved in the community and help people. I've done a lot of that work before in the past here, and I so thoroughly enjoyed it. It makes, although you go out there thinking, great, there's a holiday, there is a part of that to it, but this age bit where you help people, it makes it one of the greatest holidays and greatest ventures you could ever be on. It's absolutely incredible. I think it's fantastic. So to go and do something like this, I'm sure loads of people want to get involved.
Absolutely, Phil. We had such an interest. I mean, we've called it Happy House, and you can make and get involved as much or as little as you want. So you can still go and explore Sri Lanka. Obviously, that would still create work for Sampath because he can drive, take you. He will sit with you, find out whether you want to go and see turtles or whales or rivers or temples, and the itinerary can be personally made. It will, when we can get this whole thing out of the way, it will be absolutely amazing. As I say, create income. Every penny will go back straight into the project. So it really will be a way of people to go and be able to touch it, feel it. And it's people that's helped us raise the money that's built the Happy House. We've only just we've only channeled it. We couldn't have done it without the people doing all the crazy things they do, and donating the things they do. We've only just, been the link, really.
Fabulous. Well, all I can say from us is thank you so much for coming on the show this evening.
Thanks for having me, Phil.
Oh, it's been beautiful. Absolutely to you too. And to Steve. And Shirley says here, lovely Helen, I'm going to have a look and spread some sunshine. And we're going to put the photographs up on Sunday there, just show the wonderful work you're doing and what the money's doing, what support you're doing is giving to those people. And also, as we probably go through next year, things may change. We'll get more of a routes may open and people can get out there and go and help, and I'm sure they absolutely love it. And how they can support, spread some sunshine and make some wonderful things happen. But oh, we just lost you, Helen. We just lost you.
Situation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're back now. Oh. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. It's been absolutely lovely to have you on the show. We'll see you again soon, and we'll put your details up there. Yes, Debs Harris says, sorry, Mr. Chow, I can recap it later. Yes, that'd be great. Okay, I'm sure you'll look at that and go, oh, you may want to have a few words as well, especially in your profession. Your profession there, Debs. Anyway, Helen, thank you very much indeed. Guys, as I say here from the producer, back on tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Thanks,
she's down there, she's listening. We're going to be on the spiritual show at 11 o'clock, which is EU, 10 a.m. UK, and a little bit early in the morning if you're on the eastern side. Or if you're in Australia, then I do believe we're 11 a.m., you're 9 p.m. So you guys out there, yes, you've got your pipe and slippers on ready for bed, and we're presenting a show just to get you on the go. Okay, guys, thank you so much out there. Thank you, Deborah, for producing the show. And what can we say but have a lovely evening yourself, Helen, and see you very soon. Cheerio. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Phil. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.